So Sangatji, today's discourse we're going to be continuing the discourse sessions on the Japji Sahib. So the Japji Sahib is a prayer that is found right at the start of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, and essentially it's a conversation between Guru Nanak Dev Ji, who was the first Sikh Guru, and a group of spiritualists known as the Siddhs. The Siddhs, the group of spiritualists, they realize early on that Guru Nanak is an enlightened being. And they take this moment to ask questions to Guru Nanak Dev Ji about the divine, about the existence. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji provides them with their divine revelations and answers. And this question and answer, this back and forth, is collected and compiled in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji and in the Japji Sahib. So the Japji Sahib consists of 40 Pauris or stanzas, and today we're going to be talking about Pauri number 25. But before we jump into this, let's recap what Pauri number 24 was about. So in the previous Pauri, there were a couple of key concepts that we explored. The first being the unlimited nature of the divine. The divine is infinite, and so is his creation. And so are the praises that you can praise the divine. They're endless, limitless, infinite. The second concept we discussed was Nadar, or Gur Prasad, or the Hukam, the blessings of the divine, the order of the divine. Nanak Nadari Karmi Dat was the last line of the previous Pauri. So anything that we achieve is through the blessings of the divine only. Nadar. So they were the two key concepts that we discussed. Pauri 25 explores three main concepts. The first being the giving nature of the divine. The second is the ways of the world and how the world operates. And thirdly, we arrive back at Hukam, the divine will. So before we jump into the discourse today, the Vichar, let's just listen to the recitation of the 25th Pauri of the Japji Sahib. Sri Vaheguru Ji Bahata karma likhya na jaye, Vadda data til na tamaye, Kete mangah jod apar, Ketya ganat nahi vichar, Kete khap tuttah vekar, Kete la mukkar pahe, Kete murkh khahi khahe, Ketya dukh ਭੂਖ ਸਦ ਮਾਰ, ਇਹ ਪੇ ਦਾਤ ਤੇਰੀ ਦਾਤਾਰ, ਬੰਦ ਖਲਾਸੀ ਭਾਣੈ ਹੋਏ, ਹੋਰ ਆਖ ਨਾ ਸਕੈ ਕੋਈ, ਜੇ ਕੋ ਖਾਇਕ ਆਖਣ ਪਾਏ, ਉਹ ਜਾਣੈ ਜੇਤੀਆ ਮੋਹ ਖਾਏ, ਆਪੇ ਜਾਣੈ ਆਪੇ ਦੇ, ਆਖੈ ਸੇ ਭੇ ਕਈ ਕੇ, ਜਿਸਨੋ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਾਲਾਹ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੋ, ਜਿਸਨੋ ਬਖਸ਼ੇ ਸਿਫਤ ਸਾਲਾਹ, ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੋ। बहुता कर्म लिखया ना जाए. बहुता कर्म. The blessings of the divine are so abundant, and we will never fully be able to take account of them, no matter how hard we try. Bahota karam. Karam can be translated to actions. Bahota meaning a lot. So bahota karam, God's actions cannot be accounted, cannot be realized by us mere humans. Likhya na jaye. If one was to write all of the actions of the divine, it will be an impossible task. Because the divine is infinite, his actions are infinite too. Karam in this case can also be translated to not only actions but gifts. Bahota karam, so the gifts of the divine are limitless and can never be accounted by us. So let's just contemplate on what are these gifts that the divine has given us all. So we have the gift of our hands, our feet, the ability to speak, the ability to see, hear, smell, taste. All these are gifts that the divine has given us all individually. But what is the main gift? What is the main gift that the divine has given us? This is the gift of your breath. The main gift that the divine has given us is our breath. From this breath, we can connect with the mantra. We can connect with the shabad. And once we connect with this mantra, that connects with our breath, we can connect with the divine. We can achieve this divine union. And that comes only through the mantra and the breath. There's a story, Sangatji, about a dying saint. The saint had realized that the end of his life was approaching. His last few breaths were approaching. He told this to his close disciples, that my time is almost up. The disciples, sad and emotional, they asked the saint for one last teaching. The saint replied to them with a smile, I don't have enough time to share this teaching I want to share with you guys, this one last teaching. I need you guys all to buy me some more breaths so I can share this with you guys. The disciples spent the rest of the day, the rest of the evening, all night, the morning, searching for someone, searching for spiritualists, searching for merchants that could sell them just a few breaths that they could give to the saint so they could listen to this one last teaching. Tired, they returned back to the saint and say, we searched day and night and we were unable to find anyone who could sell us the gift of the breath. The saint smiled and said, this is my teaching. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much money you have, no matter how much experience you have, or how religious you are, once your breaths are finished, they are finished. And no one can buy it anymore. So value this gift of life, this gift of the breath. Be grateful for every breath that you have, because you're not sure if the next one is going to come. The power of the breath, not only through the mantra, but realizing that your next breath could be your last, helps you to remember death. And why is this important? Because as humans, Sangatji, we believe ourselves to be immortal, even though we know that death is approaching. We think that we are immortal, that we are guaranteed to live up to a certain age, but this is not true, Sangatji. I remember speaking to a spiritualist a few years back, and they said something to me which was, death, the remembrance of death, is the start of meditation. Gurbani says, Jao to prem khelan ka chao, sir tar tali gali meri aao. If you desire to play this game of love with me, then step onto my path with your head in your hand. You have to accept death to start this journey in spirituality. But what is this death? Sir tal tali gali meri aao. Have your head in your hand and present it to me. That's what the divine is saying to us. But this is submission, complete submission to the word of the divine, to the teachings of the divine, whether that be Guru Nanak, whether that be Jesus, whether that be Prophet Muhammad. This is a complete submission to the divine. And what does this enable us? What does this do, this complete submission? This complete submission to the divine equals death. And this is the death of the ego. The barrier that is between us, our soul, and the divine. And once we start to knock down this barrier through death, through remembering death, we can start our meditation. Because before that, Sangatji, we are serving two masters. We are serving both the divine and Maya. But whilst we are serving both masters, Sangatji, we can never attain that divine union where our soul merges completely with the divine. So remembering death, contemplating on your breath, this is the start of meditation, Sangatji. This is the gift, the main gift that has been bestowed upon us by the divine. Bahota karma likhya na jaye, vadda data til na tamaye. Vadda data til na tamaye. The great giver, Vadda Data, Til na tamaye, does not hold anything back, does not hold any of his gifts back. He does not discriminate, and he gives his gifts to all equally. Sangatji, the divine gives us everything. Even to those who do not believe in him, he blesses them with the gift of food, the gift of wealth, the gift of money, the gift of breath. And the divine gives fairly to all according to our karma, our karam. In the 20th Pauri of the Japji Sahib, there was a line saying, Ape beej, ape hi khao. You reap what you sow. This is the concept of karma, and the divine does not discriminate in how he presents us with these gifts. The gifts that we are given are based purely on our karma. If we dive quickly and briefly into the concept of karma, karma is the fairest system there is. You cannot cheat it. You cannot buy your way out. You cannot talk your way out of karma. Whatever actions you have committed, whether they are good or bad, we will get the equal and opposite consequence for these. So in our lives, Sangatji, whether we experience good things or bad things, these are all due to our karma. If our health is suffering, this is due to our karma. Equally, if we are going through good patches of our life, this is due to our good karma. The divine does not discriminate when he gives. And this reminds me of a story of the great saint Moses, or the prophet Moses. So Moses, a saintly being, is in conversation with the divine and asks the divine for some seva, for a duty that he can carry out on this earth to help him become closer to the divine. Moses asks the divine very humbly, "Can you bestow upon me a duty that I can carry out for you? Perhaps the duty of giving food to all." The divine communicates with Moses and expresses to him that this duty you're asking for is extremely hard, it's very difficult. It's an extremely difficult duty to pursue and to carry out. However, Moses accepts this and starts this duty for the divine. His job was to feed everyone that he saw. So some days pass, and Moses has fulfilled his duty to a T. Anyone that came in front of him, he would feed. One day, however, as Moses was strolling through the town, he sees a man committing wrongful acts to such a degree that it angers Moses. It angers him very much. And when the man approached Moses for some food, Moses, in his anger, refuses and says, "These acts that you were committing were extremely wrong. You are not worthy of this food. You're not worthy of the gift of food." So at the end of the day, Moses is in conversation with the divine yet again. The divine asks, "Have you obeyed my order and given food to everyone?" Moses replies, "I have." The divine then replies to Moses, "What about that one man that was committing those wrongful acts? Did you feed him too?" Moses humbly tells the divine that he did not give the food to this guy. The divine smiles and says, "This is why this duty, this seva is difficult. Despite the bad actions that the guy was committing, his previous good karma had earned the right for him to have that food which you denied." So Sangatji, sometimes we look around in the news, we look around at other people, and we think to ourselves, this person might be a bad person, or this person is not a truthful person, but he's still receiving money, food, shelter. Why is this the case? This is all down to karma. Our previous karma. We all have good and bad karma. Our good karma gives us good results. Our bad karma would give us the equivalent punishment. So Sangatji, Vadda Data Til Na Tamai. The great giver God, the divine Waheguru Allah Ram, does not discriminate and gives to everyone equally according to their karma. Kete mange jod apar. So in the next few lines of this stanza, Sangatji, we start to explore the ways of the world. So Kete mangehe jod apar. There are so many great, heroic warriors begging at the door of the divine. Ketya gant nahi vichar. There are countless number of people who are contemplating and dwelling upon the divine in the world. So many that they can't be counted. Ketya gant nahi vichar. Kete khap tuttahe vekar. Also, there are many people that waste away to death, engage in corruption, and engage in wrongful acts. Kete khap tuttahe vekar. Kete la mukkar pahe. And there are so many people that take through their greed, but then deny receiving anything at all. Kete Murkha Kahi Kahe. In the same way, Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that many foolish people that continue to consume. Kete Ketya Dukh Pukh Sadmar. Yet there are so many people who endure distress, deprivation, constant abuse, anxiety, etc. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji has outlined the ways of the world, the different scenarios, the different living conditions that people are in. But yet they say, "Eh pe daat teri daatar." "Eh pe daat teri daatar." Even these are your gifts. We may be in negative situations, Sangat Ji, but sometimes these negative situations, these bad experiences, can be our biggest gifts. I'd just like to share with you something that I went through a few years ago. So a few years ago, just after COVID, I went through a period of depression. Approximately 9 months to a year of purely negative thinking. And at that time, it was such a negative experience for myself that I was questioning the divine. I was questioning why the divine is putting me through this pain. But having got through that period, that negative period, through the blessings of the divine, the blessings of the Sangat and the blessings of the saints, I now look back at this time as one of the biggest gifts in my life. Through this negative period, I connected with a great saint. And also through this time, I joined this Sangat of the Divine Light, in its early stages, through Bhai Rishipal Singh Ji. And through this negative experience that I went through, I started progressing on the spiritual path with the blessings of the divine. I started to do more seva, more simran, and more sangat. So Sangat Ji, "Eh pe daat teri daatar." Whatever we're going through is down to our karmas. However, even the most negative experiences in your life can be the biggest blessings in the future. So, "Eh pe daat teri daatar, band khalasi pana hoye." Now, Sangat Ji, the concept we're exploring is again the will of the divine, the hukam. Throughout the Japji Sahib, virtually every body, we come back to the same concept of the divine will. Band khalasi pana hoye. Liberation from the bondage of Maya only comes by your will, my divine. Only through Gur Prasad. In the Mool Mantra, we spoke about the concept of Gur Prasad. Through the Guru's blessings, through the divine blessings. Only through that blessing can we be liberated. In the last Japji Sahib talk, we discussed this concept of Kirpa or Gur Prasad. So, whatever we do, Sangat Ji, it requires an effort from ourselves. We must put the effort in initially. And the analogy I gave was building a wall. It is our responsibility, it's our effort to lay one brick at a time next to each other, brick by brick, building this wall. However, if there's no cement, a small wind can knock this wall over. In this case, the cement is the divine will, is the hukam, is the blessings. As soon as you put cement in that wall becomes strong and sturdy. And this is the same way with our Sangat Ji. We have to put this effort in, but at the end of the day, it's through the divine's blessing, only through the divine will can we ever achieve this state of divine union where our soul completely merges with the one. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji saying, Band khalasi paana hoye. Liberation from bondage only comes by your will. Hor aakh na saka koi. And no one else has a say in this. Only the divine. And je ko khaik aakhan paaye. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, those fools that think they have a say in there, they are truly, truly foolish. Je ko khaik aakhan paaye. Oh jane jetiya moh khaye. And that person shall learn the effects of his foolishness. They will learn the effects of his foolishness. Only through divine will can we merge, Sangat Ji. Ape jana ape de. Only the divine themselves know, and he himself gives the gifts. Ape jana ape de. Aakhe se pe kei ke. And very, very, very few amount of people know this and acknowledge this truly. Sometimes we think, Sangat Ji, even in our day-to-day lives, that we have the power to influence. But however, Sangat Ji, this influence only happens through the divine will. We cannot influence through our own actions. We may be able to put the effort in to try changing someone's life or helping someone, but only through kirpa, through the blessings of the divine, will they truly change. And only very, very few amount of people acknowledge this, Sangat Ji, and those people are the Gurmukhs, they're the saints. Jisno bakhse sift salah. And that one blessed person, the saints, the Gurmukhs, who are blessed enough to sing the praises of the Lord, Nanak Patshahi Patsaho. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that they are the King of Kings. So Sangat Ji, this brings me to the end of today's vichar, the end of today's session. In this session today, we have explored 3 concepts. The first is the giving nature of the divine. The divine gives to us all without discrimination. The second, we learn a little bit about the ways of the world. And finally, we ended on that reoccurring theme, the reoccurring concept of hukam and divine will. So Sangat Ji, hope you enjoyed today's session. Please continue to bless us all with Naam, Simran and Seva, and forgive me for many mistakes. Nanak Naam Chardi Kala Tere Pane Sarbat Da Pala. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.